Gamesthetic episode 161. My name is Alex Light. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day, whether you're watching this live or watching it after the fact. No matter what, we appreciate the hell out of you. No Zach today, but I do have John here in the studio. John, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I don't know why you had to make fun of me right before we started.
Talking about John watching darts apparently for the last couple weekends.
It's great.
John's in a dart mood.
Everybody's given me the same reaction when I've told them.
That's just like, I mean,
I don't watch conventional sports, okay?
I know you don't. And I will say this. If there was anyone that would come up and tell me, yeah, I've been watching darts the last couple weekends and it wouldn't horribly shock me, it's going to be you. All right? I don't mean that as an insult either. It's just I see the random videos that you send me of just like the algorithms you get put into. Yeah. Like, hey, watch this. And it's like a 3-hour video of something random.
Here's the weird thing about it. It's not even new. Every year I get into it at some point.
All right, so
this goes back like 4 years.
So I've known this guy since high school. He lived with me for like 4 or 5 years, and I never know that he was into darts.
It's fun to watch.
I mean, live your best life, man. Live your best life. Shout out to darts. The dart season just started, so go check out some darts. But also something else to check out is the state of play that took place this week. We're going to be going over that. Persona 3 Reload came out. I've played about, I think, 13 hours into it. I did win my bet, by the way.
Christ.
I did win my bet.
I've played like 2.
Yeah, I did win my bet. The bet that I had with Zach is that he bet I would not play 4 hours on opening night. Honestly, after surpassing 4, I even told my girlfriends, like, if he really wanted like a hard challenge for him, he probably could have gone for 6 to 8, and it would have been a little bit more difficult because I ended like right at like 5 hours and 45 minutes last night. So like that was like I think 11:30. So he probably could have really got me in a challenge to try if he hit 6. But I did hit 4 hours last night, so I win the bet. Shout out to that. But yeah, I'm about 12 hours in. Chat about that. I think you've been playing some Tekken. We'll kind of touch on that. Your thoughts on that one. I got some new reports that a new PlayStation Handheld's in early development. A very blue thumbnail today. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail. It's very blue. Very blue today. Very blue. So it is what it is. That's just how things lined up. Plus, there's some other random news bits. Like one is involving the live service future. That almost made the thumbnail as well. I'm not looking forward to a live service future, but I understand it, and it makes sense. So we're going to chat about that report. Plus, Palworld still popping off. So shout out to that one. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time. But it'd also be a great time if you checked out some Rogue Energy with the referral link down below. Use promo code SPARK3 to get 10% off your order, as well as go to Agent Inc. and pick up a jersey as well. We'd appreciate that support, as well as come join the Discord and come chat with us every once in a while. That'd be cool. All right, let's go to 2 cams. Boom, 2 cams. We're both here. We're rocking. So it's going to be a good show. I apologize if John and I are a little on the low energy side because we are very distraught and devastated with what's happening in the world of the WB. But it is what it is. Perhaps a Sparky 3 perhaps a Sparky 3 Wrestling podcast coming soon.
Fuck you, by the way. I was having a good night last night.
Yeah, I just messaged John. I'm like, I am not happy. Contact SmackDown.
Normally, I wake up to that bad news.
Yeah, and then John's just like, I haven't checked it out. What's happening? I told him exactly what happened. The Rock. He came back. Cody and him.
You just replied, Rock. And I think I just said, like, you're kidding, right?
Yeah, no, like I gave him the play-by-play because the way I explained it to him almost sounds like it was a fan fiction because I was just like, Rock came back. Rock and Cody embraced. Rock and Roman had to stare down. Cody walked away, and he's like, "You're kidding, right?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "I wish. Yeah, I wish."
Yeah, we've spent a lot of energy going back and forth about this.
Perhaps a Sparky 3 Wrestling podcast is in the future. We also have our guy Ricky over at ATFS, who's a big wrestling fan. He's actually gone to some local wrestling events. He's got a buddy. I've met this guy through messaging before. He's a cool dude. His name's CJ. He runs a local wrestling promotion near us, and Ricky and his friend Forrest. They have their show Talking Sports with Nooner and Forrest. Shout out to them. They recently went to an event, and Ricky's even been a ref in the ring for him. Because Ricky is also, he's a territory manager. He does the show with me. He does his own show. Ricky's also a referee for high school sporting events. So he knows and he loves wrestling. So Ricky's actually been a ref for these wrestling events. I've seen pictures of it that my guy Tyler has sent me, and I'm just like, this is pretty sweet. Shout out to Rick, man. Ricky's a busy dude. He needs time to relax.
Good news. I can tie this back to the show.
All right.
Okay. Basically, for context, WWE 2K24 that comes out in March. Now the big push behind it, the 40 years of WrestleMania
Yep.
and finishing the story. I mean, it'll be a fun mode to play through,
It will
but
be.
less context to it now.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's a very frustrating time to be a WWE fan. It was so great for so long.
It was so good, like
we were
a week
riding a
ago.
high for so long.
It was so good, like 2 weeks ago.
And now it just comes crashing down. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. I'm not thrilled with the direction of it, but it is what it is. But what I am thrilled with the direction of is the upcoming games for PlayStation with the state of play. So overall, the state of play was actually pretty solid in my opinion. I think across the board, I personally gave it an A plus because like the extended looks for games that I've been looking forward to, I loved what I saw. That was my big.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of skimmed through for stuff that I'm excited about.
Yeah, right.
And I can see this is one of those ones where it's like usually around the time of like Summer Game Fest during like the kickoff show when I'm always excited for like all the like weird indie games coming out. This right here, I look at this lineup, I'm like, this is like 60% stuff Alex is looking forward to.
Correct. I mean, so just going through the list, I got the full list here. You know, I've got it in order of announcement. So first, immediately let off with another look of Helldivers 2 that comes out in just a couple days. So that makes sense.
Which this game, I'm actually.
Are you getting it?
This is a game I'm probably getting.
Okay.
Because it's like I didn't care at all for Helldivers.
Right.
Helldivers 2 looks fucking awesome.
Yeah. So I actually, one thing that I did, I want to start doing this for showcases, is I did make a TikTok with all my opinion on for every announcement. And for the Helldivers, my exact words were, the gameplay looks awesome. This game's not for me, but Helldivers fans should be excited because it looks great.
Yeah.
Like the game is not for me, but like it looks fantastic.
Yeah. It's like this is something I'm not 100% saying I'm picking it up, but this is one of the few games of the year that's been on my radar as a possible pickup.
Yeah. Also, you should go follow me at TikTok at Sparky3Official. I'm doing the 366 days of gaming challenge. I still need to get up to today's game. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I've been playing Persona all day. Now, the next game, this is one of the ones that I'm excited for, Stellar Blade. I got an extended trailer with an April release date, April 26th. That one's going on the calendar. I'm looking forward to this game. The game just looks cool, man. Like the gameplay looks sick. The combat looks great. Whenever this game was, I think called like what Project Eve or whatever it was, I don't remember, before I got the name of Stellar Blade. Like I thought I was interested in the game then. I just think the game looks great. Stellar Blade looks like a really cool game.
Yeah, for me, it's one that it's one that when it comes closer, I might get excited for.
Right.
But it's also like I look at it, I'm like, I'm unsure.
Yeah.
It's like it looks great, but I don't know if it's
gonna be
my kind of game.
Right.
So this could be one like a week out. I'm the most hyped for it, or I'm still gonna be like,
pick it up on a sale or something like that, you know. Next up, very excited for this, Sonic X Shadows Generations coming this autumn. So it's just a Sonic Generations basically remaster with now Shadow stuff. The vibe that I get from it, especially from like the leaks leading into this, think of like Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury port, where it's like you had the base game of Mario 3D World, but then you add this whole Bowser's Fury segment of the game. That's kind of what I picture. You have Sonic Generations, and now you have like the Shadow Generations. That's kind of how I picture it. So it looks great.
I will say, as someone who didn't watch this show and really didn't pay too much attention to what was going to be on the show going into it, because it's like, I mean, for the most part, I knew what was going to be on there. Man, as someone who's just like kind of clicking through a YouTube video after the fact, seeing what's on there, clicking through and just see a shadow in the middle of the screen, I'm like, what the fuck did I miss?
Shadow's back, baby. One thing I thought was so great that with him coming back in the style of this Generations game is we get to see the villain from his Shadow game. Like, there's Shadow the Hedgehog content in this game. Like, who would have thought they would have referenced that game? So I was just like, wow, that's insane. All right, so the next few things we had was like a look at Zenless Zone Zero. That's by Hoyoverse, of course. That's in development for PS5. Another look at Foam Stars. That should be out, I think, now, or if not in a couple days, coming to PlayStation Plus Essentials, and it's also on sale for $30. Dave the Diver coming to PlayStation, along with a Godzilla collab. Dude, these collabs for Dave the Diver just keeps getting wilder and wilder.
They're just kind of like, if we'll ask So they're taking the concept of it's always a no if you don't ask.
Yeah.
To the limit.
I'm sure they present their question. It's like, hey, you know, we were indie game best indie game of the year nominated. So I'm just saying, you should consider it. V Rising is coming to PlayStation. That came out in what, 2022, I think. Pretty solid reviews.
Yeah, I think it was 2022. Yeah, it kind of blew up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's going to get a resurgence potentially.
yeah. I mean, it's one I haven't played it, but it's kind of been on my list.
Yeah.
But it's also one where I'm like, I've kind of looked for a sale.
Right. Finally got some Silent Hill stuff. Silent Hill, the short message. I remember reporting on this a while ago of just the name was like trademarked or whatever. We got a full trailer of that one. That game is free to play and out now. I do have it downloaded, have not jumped into it yet. It gave me a lot of PT vibes. A lot of PT vibes. Not for John. Not for John. It's free to play, John. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping in this one and trying it out. Not for John.
That shit don't work for everything.
So then we finally got to look at Silent Hill 2 remake. Let's not forget Bloober Team recently put out a message kind of completely blaming Konami. It's just like, you know, Konami, our partner, Konami, you know, really highlighting Konami that it's kind of their fault. So finally got to look at that game. No release date though. And then Judas. I don't know if this was previously announced or if this was the announcement trailer. I don't know. But a lot of BioShock vibes.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of BioShock
I couldn't
vibes.
remember what it was because I think this is the one where like I clicked into it and it was like partially into the trailer, where I clicked on the video at.
Yeah.
And the first thing I said was, "Man, this looks like BioShock."
Yeah. No, that was the reception from everyone was BioShock.
It's like
that's what it looks like.
I haven't even played BioShock.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I go, this feels very much the same.
Yeah. So like the general reception from this is like everyone was like just beyond stoked. It's like, dude, yes. Yes. Something that looks like BioShock. It's BioShock basically. Let's go. So like, there was like a unanimous like let's fucking go when it came to Judas. A couple VR games. One looked like a great VR game and one looked like a VR game. We had Metro coming back with Metro Awakening VR, and then we had a little trailer for Legendary Tales VR. Metro looked like a great VR game. Legendary Tales looked like a VR game. That's the best way I can describe it.
I mean, that's like when it comes to VR games, the best compliment I can give a game when I watch a trailer that's a VR game is I couldn't even tell it's a VR game.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great compliment.
It's like but I mean, like you said, sometimes it's just going to be a VR game.
Did you actually watch the full trailer for the Legendary Tales? Okay, so there was one clip that I saw someone share on Twitter that like I didn't even mentally process when it happened, but like in the trailer, but like like looking back on it, it's just like that is so stupidly funny to include. There was one like quick shot they showed where whoever was playing was just beating the fuck out of a skeleton on the ground like repeatedly for like 3 seconds. It's whack, 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 like just beating it. It's just on the ground laying there, and I'm just like, that is hilarious in context. Like now that I look back on it.
It's also just one of those where it's like
the dumb little moment.
It's like know your player base.
Yeah.
It's like because it's one thing I've seen. It's like because I've seen videos because I think back to, and this might be one of the worst examples that I can come up with in my head.
Yeah.
And it was just the difference in ways that like the advertising companies, developers, and everything, the way they present their game for trailers, and it was Division 2 when they were showing like the initial gameplay trailer for it, and it's like they show a squad of people doing a mission, and it's just like them. They're like calming back and forth, like it's an actual mission that they're going into, and like saying that they're sneaking up on them, trying to time their fire. Then you cut to like a group of people that are actually playing. And it's just like, because I've seen an old video that was a comparison of it, and it cut to a smash cut of like 4 people emoting and screaming at the same time, and then charging into battle. And I'm like, that's the difference between what they think we're doing and what we're actually doing.
Yes.
And it's like, in some of these games, it's like, yeah, just show off what someone is actually going to do in this game.
Yeah,
it's
beat the shit out of a skeleton.
It's like somebody's going to see a skeleton on the ground and walk over to it and see if and try to hit it a few times.
Yes. I will say the one thing that kind of stuck out to me about Legendary Tales, though, that I thought was kind of cool is that it gave me Oblivion vibes. And I don't mean that as like an insult in terms of graphical, you know what I mean? Like it's a VR game.
Yeah, I know what you mean. By
But
that.
just like that was the vibe that came off to me. Not even Skyrim, but Oblivion. That was the vibes I got. So I consider that a compliment for me because Oblivion is my preferred Elder Scrolls. It is one of my favorite games. So I think that's a compliment. But I mean, I think like a game like that played in VR and today, I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be cool. Got another look at Dragon's Dogma 2. That's coming out, of course, on the 22nd of March. This game still looks great.
I think everyone is going to play this game.
Yes, I think dude, that's such a big day. That day, dude, you have Dragon's Dogma 2. I know we're not going to play this, but I mean, it is, I guess, a notable Nintendo release. You have Princess Peach Showtime that day, and then you have this next game, Rise of the Ronin.
I
all
was
on
I was looking at the release calendar earlier, and I was like, "What are you gonna do?" Because this is like these are two of your most anticipated games of the year
Yep,
on the same day.
I know. I think I'm going Rise of the Ronin.
You're gonna have to you're gonna either have to just pick one or flip a coin.
I'm going at Rise of the Ronin because that extended trailer was awesome.
Yeah,
That game looks so good.
I was gonna say I figure you might pick that one for two reasons. One, I'm probably playing Dragon's Dogma,
Yeah,
and
that's
two, you have talked way more about Rise of the Ronin than you have Dragon's Dogma.
That's fair. That's fair. And
You've been way more excited for that.
you are correct, and he's also correct in the narrative of if there's two big games coming out around the same time, if I know that like one of them are going to play like one of them, I'll play the other. Because it's a great example, God of War Ragnarok, Sonic Frontiers. I knew he was going to play Ragnarok, so I got Ragnarok the same day he did, but I played Sonic Frontiers instead so we could talk about it.
I think you liked it better. You liked Ragnarok better than I did.
I love Ragnarok, bro.
It's one of those where it's like I loved it, but you came into it with like lower expectations.
Yeah, I did. Not
And then
saying it's
like
in a bad way.
we probably hit the same highs, but they were higher for you because you had no bar going in hardly.
And when he says no bar, I don't mean I thought it was gonna be a bad game. It's just I'm not the diehard God of War fan. That's the only reason
It's
why.
like he's not the one that played like God of War 2018
Yeah.
and had his mind blown necessarily. He was like, it's a good game.
Yeah, that's a good game. I enjoyed that. That was fun. Yeah, that was me. I was that guy. But Ragnarok blew me away.
Then he goes from that to like the same experience that we had in 2018.
Exactly.
But elevated because this one was way up here.
And I think when it comes to that, I think it really goes back to what we've talked about in terms of my excitement for Ragnarok is that 2018, while anyone can play it, it really is for the original fans. While Ragnarok is for the 2018 fans. That's kind of the best way to put it.
Yeah. It's like yeah, because it was 2018 was kind of that. Here's the new story, but we're gonna hit you with every emotional beat and show you all the cool and then just like slowly introduce you to what happened and cool stuff along the path.
Right. We got someone popping in here on Kick. Hey man, how are you? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day today. But no, Rise of the Ronin though, that game looks great. I'm so excited for it. The extended trailer, everything about it. I mean, it just gives obviously massive Ghost of Tsushima vibes. Like that's what it gives off, which that's totally cool. Ghost of Tsushima was fantastic. Should have been Game of the Year. Not Trash of Us Part 2. Loved Ghost of Tsushima. This game looks awesome. I cannot wait to play it. And then Until Dawn Remaster, baby, for PC and PS5. Day one pickup. Day one pickup.
Like I said,
I'm so pumped for this.
Like I said before, it feels like anytime there's a lull happening, it's just like how like Bethesda has the Skyrim button. They just have the Until Dawn button.
Yeah.
It's hey, it's been a couple years. Release it again.
Yeah, basically. Again, I made a full breakdown of my thoughts in a slideshow on TikTok, whatever, and I put my excitement for this game, and someone commented just like, "You're excited for Until Dawn getting ported to PlayStation 5 and PC? What are you, 12?" I'm just like, bro, I love this game. All right, there's nothing wrong with being excited to revisit a favorite. All right, fuck off. I love Until Dawn. Until Dawn is great. That's the game I feel like probably really got me more into horror games, because growing up, like I wasn't huge into them. When Silent Hill 2 remake comes out, that's gonna be my first experience with Silent Hill 2. I never played the original.
Yeah. No, Until Dawn is like the extent of going into that genre that I've gone.
Yeah, I mean that's what got me into it. Like I played Resident Evils growing up, and that was about it. I played Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube back in the day when it was an only for GameCube game. Shout out to that. But Until Dawn really got me into the genre, and then I further got into the genre like with Mortuary Assistant, the Quarry, stuff like that. But anyway, no, Until Dawn remaster. That's very exciting. It's complete. Apparently, it's all done in Unreal Engine 5, so that's cool. Game's gonna look great. I can't wait. I also can't wait for the people to play this that haven't played it before. That's also the great thing. Fatal Frame got me in. That's also a good one that I have not played, but I do know that that's a damn good one. A lot of people like some Fatal Frame. John, you want to play Fatal Frame?
No.
Sound like a fun time for you?
No. I've seen videos of it, but no,
yeah.
it doesn't not for me.
John doesn't like horror games. He doesn't like horror games.
Every now and then I try.
How's Prey?
I ain't played it again.
Nah, okay. And then the last game that we got to see, what did I watch? With Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Did you actually watch this whole thing?
I saw that it was introducing it, and I was like, I lost interest. I just like clicked away.
What did I watch? Like, okay, this is for context. I haven't played Death Stranding. I know about it, haven't played it. And I'm not saying it looked bad. Like, even in my like review of it on TikTok, I gave it an A+ because the game looked great from like just a general look standpoint. A this is wild as shit, batshit crazy Kojima approach. So A+ on that. But like, it's not one that I'm going to pick up. But it's just like, what did I watch? And as someone that has not played Death Stranding, I feel like there's a lot of context here that I need to know, because like a great example is when we're like looking inside of a person and I just see a baby and a ship come out of the baby's mouth, and I'm like, what am I watching? Kojima, what I like again, like I don't know if there's context for all this with Death Stranding. I have no clue. I'm so lost on it. But Jesus Christ, what did I watch? I mean, it's a Kojima game.
It's one of those where it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I saw that it was starting to get introduced, and I was like, yep. I'm not going to be able to understand this, so I'm just going to walk away. It's like, I'm not going to play it. I'm not really going to have any interest in it, so I'm just going to turn it off now.
I kind of want to play Death Stranding. I don't know anyone who's actually played Death Stranding and has like really was like, this is a great game. This is phenomenal. I mean, there's obviously that, like, that's the reception online is this game's incredible, but it's like, I don't know anyone that has. So it's like, if there's someone watching this that's played it and you love it, please sell me on it.
I don't know anyone that's personally played the game.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, please sell me on this. If you're watching this and you've played, in the comments, on the video after the fact, watching, whatever, sell me on this game. I want to know. It's like, do I need to pick this thing up, the director's cut, whatever. Kojima also announced he's got a new game in development with Sony as well. It's a next-gen action espionage, which a lot of people were catching that he did say next-gen. So I was like, did they just announce a game for the PS6 and we don't even have an announcement for the Switch 2 yet?
Yeah.
Like, is that what just happened?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it sounded like.
That's one thing. It's like, at least Kojima's very aware of the fact. He's like, I'm going to make a game. This game is going to take me fucking long time to make.
Yeah.
To do what I want to do. It's not. It's like this generation is gonna be gone by the time it comes out.
Right. I mean, shout out to that, man. Then we did get the next state of play is set for the 6th, so just a few days from now, and it's just gonna be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth focused. So that's cool. But overall, state of play for me, I'd give that thing an A+. Lots of, like, again, Stellar Blade looked fantastic. Sonic Shadow Generations day one pickup. Okay, Until Dawn, that's awesome. The 2 Silent Hills look great. Dragon's Dogma looked great. Rise of the Ronin extended trailer looked awesome. I'm here for the state of play. This state of play was awesome for me.
Yeah, I mean, this is one where it's like, while I'm only excited about like a couple games on this list, I could also look at it and go,
this was a good state of play.
Yeah. For people that are gonna play a wider range of games than I am this year, this is everything that you wanted.
Yeah,
it's like the only thing that's missing from this show that you're not getting any information about, you're getting information in a week.
Yeah, exactly. Big true. I know one thing that I saw some people like asking, like on whether it was on TikTok or Twitter or whatever the case is, asking about, like, was there any, like, why wasn't there any Spider-Man 2 news? In case it was missed, because it was a very, like, throw it out there, move on. Insomniac did put out a tweet, I think, like last week, just giving a general update. Like, hey, we're still working on New Game Plus. We're working on a lot of other updates to go along with it. Still needs a little bit of time to cook. And I saw even people was like, but Insomniac, you said it was going to come out in January. Insomniac claps back, no, we said it was coming out early 2024. That is like a window. Okay, we never said January. That you guys got that in your head. And I was just like, shout out to you, Insomniac, clap back. You know, with all the shit you guys went through the end of the year, clap back a little bit.
It's one of those where it's like, not every developer, but some developers, they've earned the right.
Yeah,
it's like some developers are like, okay, it's like, yeah, just sit over there. It's like sit over there, kind of quietly do your work, and we'll be happy when you release something. Don't come talking back because you made some problems. It's like you made some mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like it's Insomniac. It's like
they've been through so much.
It's like you just sit there. You're like, get them.
Yeah, do it. Do it. All right, so let's hop over to Persona 3 Reload. Like I said earlier, I've played about like 12 and a half, 13 hours so far. I'm about to hit June, so.
I've played 2 hours.
Did you enjoy your 2 hours?
Okay, here's something I'm gonna say.
All right.
I'm gonna lead off. I'm gonna hop around a little bit here before I kind of jump into it, because initially, when you first start the game and it kind of goes through the opening cutscene, and everything for it, cutscene goes hard.
Yeah.
Because like 4 seconds into the cutscene almost, or it's like you kind of look out over the sky and then it immediately transitions to a girl holding a gun to her forehead saying, "Pull the trigger." And I'm sitting there, I'm watching, I'm going, "Man, they're just not fucking holding back."
Yeah, they're going all in.
Here's one thing. Here's what I will say. When you were saying like, if Zach wanted to challenge you, he would have told you like 6 hours or something.
Yeah.
Does not surprise me, because the only reason I stopped playing the game was because I had to come over here.
Yeah, I mean, dude, time flies.
Because I will say, I was going to start playing it this morning, but it was weird. I downloaded it on my computer, and then I moved over to my recliner, and I wanted to play it on my Xbox, so I had to re-download it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then like I got distracted, like cleaning and doing other stuff today. So I didn't end up playing it much, but I think I'm probably gonna play this one more. I don't know what it is. Inherently, this game has grabbed me more so than like Persona 5 did.
Really? Okay. All right.
Just for like in the first like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's been more enjoyable to me than Persona 5 was.
Right. And also for context for anyone listening, diehard Persona 5 fan, just getting into Persona for me, light Persona fan. Our Persona fan of the show is not here today.
Yeah.
Our fan who owns the original Persona, has played the original Persona, is not here. We're light Persona fans, just for context.
My extent of Persona before this game came out is I've played about 25 hours of Persona 5.
Yeah.
And then kind of dropped it out of nowhere.
Right.
Went back to it, played it for probably 6 hours, and then something else came out that pulled me away from it.
Yeah. I also want to address something real quick, because I had this exact conversation with my girlfriend the other day. Someone said in chat, the fact that that's how they summon their personas is fucking wild in terms of shooting themselves, whatever. I had this exact conversation the other day because I'm the one that has like the legitimate like thought that goes through the head. Man, what if like some kids that aren't supposed to play this game plays this game, loves it, sees that, and shoots themselves in the head thinking they're going to summon Persona? Because that shit's real. Like, I watched a case. I don't remember the YouTuber. I don't remember the kid's name, but there was that one YouTuber who like went psycho, murdered everyone at a grocery store, and then killed himself because he fell in love with Ember Moon from Danny Phantom, and he thought he was going to become a ghost girl. Like people can be like, they're impressionable. So like that was my first thought, like is like the fact that like they shoot themselves and that's how that is so wild to me.
I will say, because I
understand it's a product of its age and stuff.
Yeah, I will say, like, I assumed that was gonna be like cutscene story stuff. And like you see it the one time. I did not think that every time you activated a persona, like a skill from
that was my thought
using
too.
the persona, I did not think it was going to show a cutscene of them shooting themselves
every time. And also, shout out to this guy. Apparently, the story I just said happened 2 hours away from him, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about with that YouTuber. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. So it's just like, kids or like people like, like they can be impressed, or impressions can happen very easily, right? So that's my thought with this is like you see characters shooting themselves in the head nonstop, summoning personas. Like what if the wrong kid plays this? Which obviously they don't need to be playing it, but for God's sake, me and you were playing GTA San Andreas, getting a blowjob at like whatever age we were when that came out. It's just like, oh, well, that's happening, So it's I don't know. It's so wild to me that that's how we summon the persona. But they give fair warning going into the game, as they do all personas.
You get like 3 warnings before you make it to the main menu.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, as far as I am in the game, I've kind of just gotten free reign.
Right.
So like I've gone through your first entrance into, or like your first exploration of Tartarus, where you go through floor 1, and then I'm back to go again, and it's like that's where I got to.
So I think when I ended earlier, before I came out here to start getting the studio set up, I had just finished getting to floor, I think like 43, which is the end of the second block. Because I'm basically treating Tartarus like I would Palaces in P5R, where it's like the moment the game will let me just go, I am going until I can no longer go. Like basically until I can, send the calling card, or in this case, reach my blockade. Like once that's as far as I'm going. And one thing, I knew about this going in, but I completely forgot about it until I realized it wasn't there. Because again, I've never played P3. I know a little bit about it. One thing that's not in the game is the fatigue system, because I thought it was, because everyone was saying, oh, if you get really tired, go ahead and retreat. If you get really exhausted, go ahead and retreat and stuff. Fatigue system's just not in the game. Apparently that was a thing with, P3P, where like there is a fatigue bar that you will hit, and it's like you will have to probably retreat in the older games, to my understanding. So like that's just not in the game. So that makes it easier. So I'm cool with easier. I'm a baby. I just want to enjoy my game. Okay. Yeah. I'm just here for a good time, not a hard time.
I will say, I'm gonna step back real quick, because like the essence of the game is our character's been transferred to a new school.
Yeah, yep.
And on your way to the dormitory, which also this dude either doesn't give a fuck, or he's the most oblivious person on the planet. Because as soon as you get control of your character, you're walking through, and it gets dark. There's coffins everywhere, like blood on the ground everywhere. You make it to your dormitory, and everybody kind of panics.
Yeah,
they're like, who are you? What are you doing here? How did you get here?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, bro, do you not see the blood on the ground? Like, what?
But yeah, apparently. The days have more than 24 hours. And once it hits midnight, you hit 0 hour or dark hour or whatever it's called. And during that time, normal people go to sleep in a coffin wherever they happen to be at.
Yeah, just kind of happens.
And then shadows and that come out and kind of go after anybody that's there.
Yeah.
And certain people have the ability to withstand it and can summon personas, and you happen to be one of these people. And you join a group of people to explore a tower to try to figure out what the hell's going on. Mm. And that's kind of the essence of the game, as far as I'm aware at this point.
As of where I'm at now, about to hit June 1st, yes, that's still the essence of the game. One of the funny things that I immediately noticed, and I get it, it goes back to when the game originally came out, But like as someone that's only experienced Persona through Persona 5 Royal, through 2 playthroughs, like almost 200 hours of gameplay, and then like 2 to 3 hours of Persona 4 Golden, like one of the first things that like caught my eye, how basic as shit our social links look, where it's just like, I would not have known you were a social link if it wasn't for the fact that when I talked to you, just exploring, you actually had a character arc. If it wasn't for that, I would not have known, because you look like a basic ass character. Because it goes to like the ongoing joke with Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists, where it's like, spot the protagonist, because it's just so clear. That's how P5R was. It's like, spot the important characters. Well, it's pretty easy to do.
P5R was kind of like, here's a gray or black silhouette, and then here's a fully rendered person.
Yes.
But yeah, exactly. No, it's like pretty much anytime I have the ability to explore and walk around,
Yep.
anybody that I see that has like a little exclamation or like a little dots above their head or
Yep.
something, I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to them just to make sure I don't miss something.
Yeah. One thing that I already really like about this game, as playing for the first time, is I always love the little things in games, especially like throughout P5R. I love all the little stuff because I mean, the gameplay is great and all that. That's fantastic. But like, it's kind of like how you were with Digimon Survive. You were more here for that. After a while, you're like, fuck the gameplay. I want to get into the other stuff. That's how kind of I am a lot with Persona stuff. One thing that it's a little thing that I've noticed is I love the personality on all the teachers, because like the teachers in P5R, it's like, besides, Kawakami, because she's a Link, obviously, like they don't really have a lot of personality. You have the guy that gets mad all the time and throws chalk at you. You got the other two characters, one who's a bitch and tries to out Kawakami all the time. The other guy's just there. Meanwhile, you have like this one dude with a samurai helmet. He's a teacher and actively says, man, this shit that I'm teaching you is irrelevant. I hate this stuff. I can't wait till we get to Sengoku. That shit's awesome. The Sengoku era, that's awesome. But I guess I have to teach you this, even though I hate this stuff. Like, just like them vocalizing in front of the class, I think this is irrelevant, but I have to. It's just funny to me. Like, that's entertaining.
Then it's like your homeroom teacher who's like having to teach you about like literature and stuff, but she's like, you guys want to hear a poem instead?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I love the personality. I love and that's not only for the teachers. That's just for the whole game. I love like the personality this game has, because it's like, I'm not saying it has a better personality than P5R. They both have incredible personality, but it has the personality that makes it feel different than P5R. I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just the personality flair that comes with this game makes me feel like this is a completely different game, as it should. You know what I mean? Every Persona game is its own entry, with the exception of, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment's like the same story from two different perspectives, but as it should. So that's again, as a newer Persona player, that's something that I love, is like the personality feels so much different for all the characters. How you get into stuff feels so much different. Where, with P5R, like once you're going through your flashback stuff, it's like one by one, people awaken their powers. It starts with you, then it's Ryuji, then it's on. You meet Morgana, whatever in between there, and it's just like boom, 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 and you're going. Meanwhile, this one's like you're in, and there's already two vets. There's already two vets, and there's already someone else who's basically in training with Yukari, right? It's just a whole different approach, as a whole different kind of. And every Persona game feels different. From the couple hours I played a P4 Golden, now this, and now P5R, all feels different, as it should. It's all standalone entries, but like. That's like, as a newer Persona fan, that's something that I've immediately enjoyed about jumping into this game. I will be honest about one thing, though. While P3 music is incredible, I did buy the DLC and turn on P5R music, because P5R music is so much better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the P3 purists in the world. Your music slaps, but P5R's music is better, and I am rocking that background music. I set that thing to random, and dude, some of those tracks slap. Because like the first major boss fight that I had to get on, I think Rivers in the Desert was the one that was playing, and it just it hit. I loved it. It was fantastic.
I don't know. Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here and I'm like, because a lot of times, like music in games, I don't notice it too much. I tend to turn sounds, like a lot of sounds and music down, and like I kind of try to even it out some. So sometimes that gets lost a little bit.
Yeah,
not always. It's like, but I will say, I don't know, man. I bet it's like the P3 soundtrack so far has been banging.
It's great. Don't get me wrong. I just love P5R soundtrack. One of my favorite video game soundtracks.
But yeah, I will say, as far as Persona 3 Reload, that's about all I got on it.
Yeah. No,
because it's like, because I'm 2 hours in the game, I basically have a first impression, which is kind of where we've both kind of gone along the same lines of saying here. But yeah, I've got nothing more to add to it so far. I will say, for once, I actually do plan on continuing playing this game.
All right, shout out. Big difference from Persona 5. Diary of Defeat says, shout out to the cop who sells kids guns. True. There's the cop that sells the kids weapons. Shout out to that. P3R seems less handholdy. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that because P5 it just throws mechanic after mechanic after mechanic after mechanic after mechanic at you.
Yeah, I'm kind of hitting I've kind of hit the point where like even the game has told me, they're like, hey, because you have your your person is giving you all the information.
Yep.
It's like after I assume when I go back into Tartarus the second time, they're not going to constantly be stopping me to tell me everything like they did the first time.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as you hit further floors, you'll get a quick little thing, but it's just like, hey, just know this.
But
move
it's like,
on.
if that's the case, I'm perfectly fine with that because honestly, Persona 5R for like the first 3.5 hours of that game, you don't get to do anything by yourself.
That is true because, like, okay, so Persona 5R after P5 after my recent playthrough, probably a top 5 favorite game of all time. I love this game so much, but when I first tried to play it when it got added to Game Pass, I only made it into like 2 hours of that game, and I put it down for like I think almost 2 months before I picked it back up randomly and then completely dove in because of that exact thing.
Yeah, you don't.
Where it's like hours of like holding your hand to get started.
Yeah, because I'm probably an hour and 45, somewhere around that time, a little under 2 hours, and the game has basically told me, figure it out.
Basically,
it's like, go do your thing. You know as much as we do now.
Yeah. A couple other things that I thought was interesting, and again, I understand older game, is that one thing that I thought was interesting is like when it comes to all your companions, not like let's say like Junpei whatever and Arihiko, they don't have social links. They're just there. They're just friends to hang out with. I thought that was interesting because it's like you have all these like basic ass looking nobodies that are social links, right? Like like the magician dude or whatever. Like they all look like, again, I would not have known they were a social link if it wasn't for the fact when I talked to them when I first got to the school, and it gave them a picture, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess you're an important character. But Junpei and I, like, you can hang out with them. They'll hit you up. Like Junpei will hit you up at some point in May. She's like, hey, we haven't really hung out. Let's go hang out. And it's like you can experience their stories you would with a confidant in P5R, but they're not actually a social link. I just thought that was interesting. And I don't know much about P3P, but I'm curious if you pick the female protagonist, do they then have social links? And like, does like Yuriko and Mitsuri, like, do they not? I don't know. I'm very curious about that.
Okay, granted, I don't know a whole lot about the social link system because I didn't play a whole lot of any other Persona game. I'm wondering if that's the case because, like this kind of like, it's the group as the whole.
Yeah, the full. The full is the whole group.
It's the whole
yeah,
group.
I thought that was
so
interesting too.
It's not individual people
Yeah.
that you have to. It's like as long as you're doing stuff
with
as a group, you're good.
Yeah. See, I thought that was interesting too when I got.
Which I will say, I've now that you say that like you don't have to do it individually with people. I'm like, that's nice. It's like it's like because it's like we're gonna be fucking doing shit the entire game together. Don't make me have to go do extra shit.
Yeah. Another thing that I like personally is less social stats to raise. Love that. There's only 3. That's great. Love that. Because my first playthrough of P5R is not knowing what the hell to do took me forever to max these things out. So I missed out on so much content in my first playthrough because like I was trying to grind to get the damn stat for it. And I understand like, for people that are like, pros at these games, they're going to be like, dude, it's so easy. It's like, yeah, you've been doing it. I didn't know what to do.
I still don't have a fucking clue how to do any of it.
Yeah. Like, my second playthrough is when I got to experience a lot of content that I missed in the first game.
It's like me playing through this. It's like, I know there's stats that I have to raise, and I know that doing certain things, it's like, I know that I've answered questions correctly in class, which I'm smart, by the way.
Good job.
I have not missed one yet.
I'm proud of you.
But yeah, it's like I know that answering questions gives you different stat boosts, and like talking to people gives you different stat boosts and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't have a fucking clue how to raise them outside of that.
Like jobs, playing video games, go to the arcade, go eat at the ramen place by the strip mall right by your dorm. Go eat there. Go eat the burger place. Well, once you get money, go eat at the ramen place, okay? It can boost your academics.
I went shopping for equipment, and
that breaks you.
And I came out with a little bit of money, and I played the crane game.
Yeah, you would play the crane game. This son of a bitch, man, like with his old truck, his entire dash was nothing but stuff he won from crane games.
Yeah, I had too much
piled.
I had to swap them out all the time because I there was too much stuff I couldn't see.
Man, shout out to your old truck. What was it called? Was it Onyx?
I don't
I don't
dude,
know.
that's been so long.
I named your car Thor, but you disagree with that one.
I couldn't have even told you that.
Yeah, sleeping in class raises your strength somehow. True. If you choose to sleep in class, that'll raise your courage. Whatever.
If you stay awake, it
It'll-
raises your knowledge.
Yeah, it raises your knowledge. So
I've done both. I did the sleeping the first time because I was like, well, they just talked to me about it. I might as well try it.
Yeah.
And then the next time I was like, well, do I get anything if I stay awake?
Yeah, exactly. Another thing also, anytime you go to Tartarus, the next day, go visit the nurse's office. You get a free courage boost because he gives you some medicine because you're tired. So free courage boost every time you come back from Tartarus. Keep that in mind. But yeah, just there's lots of ways to do it, which is great because like I'm already about to hit June, and I'm already halfway for all three because the max is 6 and I'm at 3 for all three. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot better progress than it was for me my first playthrough of P5R. This is great. This is fantastic. I'm loving it. But no, like 12 and a half hours in for me, about to hit June. I am so hooked. Like I was hooked almost immediately just based off the vibe. You know what I mean? The vibe alone, like, all right, I'm in.
I would say like this game grabbed me much quicker than P5 did.
Yeah.
Which is also funny because it also hooked me kind of during the same like okay, we're gonna hold your hand and walk you through so that you understand what's happening and you don't get lost immediately before we unleash you to do whatever the fuck you want in a game that you don't understand.
True.
And it's like even during that period, I'm like, I don't know. It's like I don't know if it's. Well, it's probably not the character. It's probably just the vibe, like you said. The vibe of the game it resonates with me better.
Right. I'm very excited just to completely kind of get further because, like, again, already stressed it. Love P5R, top 5 favorite game of all time. Any sort of list I ever see of ranking Persona games, like a general list, people always put P3 at number 1 and P5R at 2. So I'm like, I am so ready for this. Like I had such high expectations coming into this game because of that sort of narrative that I've always seen, and so far it is absolutely hitting my expectations. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I am excited to continue playing it. I will say I'm gonna go ahead and let you know right now.
All right.
I am not committing to beating this game.
I know.
And playing through it.
I know how John works.
Here's what I will tell you.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything on the horizon that I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
At least until around the March. There may be some in February that I'm not thinking of.
So like, let me pull up my calendar real quick.
But
because I think so. The only other games that I have, but I'm not going to get this month, is on the 13th. Banisher's Ghost of New Eden comes out. I'm looking forward to that one, but I'm probably not gonna get it. I will also be out of town for work, so I definitely probably won't get it.
Yeah, it's like
we have Skull and Bones on the 16th. John, you want to play Skull and Bones?
I mean, I'm probably gonna play it, but it's like there's Helldivers 2, but that's not a game that's gonna pull me away if I jump into. That's more of gonna be I jump into and I have some fun every now and then.
Yeah.
But then Skull and Bones, which I'll probably try. But then honestly, I'm like it's not until the end of the month.
Yeah, so the 16th, Skull and Bones. The 28th, got Brothers, Tale of Two Sons remake, which, that's the one that I'll pick up down the road. Now, the next game that I'm definitely picking up day one for me, Unicorn Overlord. Also Atlas game, coming out on the 8th. I'm looking forward to that one.
I'm saying end of the month. I'm thinking end of March.
Yeah, because
which is also funny because end of the month is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I'll end up playing at some point, but it's not I am not the rest of the world that is super excited and can't wait for this game to come out.
I haven't even played Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I haven't beat it.
I know you haven't.
Well, I think I played most of it, but it's like it was also like it's fine.
Right. But I don't know. Bottom line about P3R though, it's fantastic. It's on Game Pass. You should try it. There you go. Okay, so in terms of main talking points, that was kind of the most. We had the PlayStation handheld in works, but before we hit to that, John, you got something you want to chat about? Maybe some Tekken?
Well, I'll get to Tekken. I kind of want to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
Just because there's been a lot of talk about it. It's kind of like it almost feels like a hit or miss for people game.
Mm-hmm.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League
Yeah,
came out.
let's hit that. Let's hit that.
This is one where, depending on who you hear this from, they will tell you either the game is trash or the game is great, or they'll tell you the game is okay. The reality of this game is almost exactly what me and Zach have thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
It is a game that is nothing like, it's not gonna be game of the year. This is not a 9 out of 10 game. This is not gonna be a 10 out of 10 game. This ain't even an 8 out of 10 game. This is gonna be a solid like 7 out of 10 game that you can jump into, and the core gameplay of it, like the combat, is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun, but the mission structure of it, from what I've seen, very repetitive, very like it gets boring over time. And then like I've seen gameplay like all the boss fights and that. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
But overall, depending on where you look, like I looked on Steam, it's sporting very positive reviews on Steam, which kind of surprised me, because everything I had seen on YouTube and that of it was just people trashing the game.
Yeah. One review that I saw earlier, one article said just like, there is so much about this game that just shines of Rocksteady's brilliance. It's just unfortunate that it's a live service game.
That's a big aspect of it. Is the fact that they had to try to cram it into being a live service game means the core gameplay loop has to change to accommodate that. And when that happens, you don't get the same end product. But yeah, it's one of those where it came out and it's like there was very like almost harsh reactions to it immediately.
Yeah.
When at the end of the day, I feel like this is another one that, like I said, me and Zach, we kind of called. We're like, it's good. It'll be fun to play. It's not gonna be great,
Right.
but you're gonna get just a like what could be considered a good game. Nothing special. It's like, which every now and then ain't nothing wrong with.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing.
I'll stand by that argument.
Yeah, it's like yeah, Rocksteady. Yeah, they've made some fucking bangers.
Oh yeah.
You're not gonna hit a home run every time you go up to the plate.
True.
And as long as you make the game and more people like the game than hate it, you're good.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's what seems to have happened here. It's like it's like a volatile topic almost, just from people. Like, it's one of those games where it's like people say it's like, yeah, I'm enjoying playing the game, and people are like, how can you like that? It almost seems to be the reaction.
All right, listen, man. I know we chatted about it last week. I'm sorry to keep harping on it, but that has still been the ongoing conversation with freaking Forspoken. I did that for, I think, January 24th of this 366-day challenge I'm doing on TikTok. I'm still getting likes and comments almost every day, and that's been some of the comments where it's just like, where people are blown away that people could enjoy that game. And it's the same thing with like any sort of like mid-game that gets shit on. It's just like people are blown away. It's like, how can you like that game?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I said, what I talked about Forspoken after it came out, it was fine. It's nothing great.
No, it's not great.
It's not great. Did I enjoy what I played of the game so far? Yes. It's like the quest system needed some work.
Yeah.
But the overall game, it was what I expected. It was fine.
Yeah. It wasn't a banger by any means.
It's like it's not a banger. It's nothing great. We all knew what the story was.
Hey, look, I had fun with combat and traversal. Okay, that was a lot of fun.
I
got my enjoyment out of that.
That is what the game was made for. It was a game that was all about the traversal and combat.
Hey.
Which, if you can have fun with that, you're going to enjoy the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you can take away that and you go small brain and just like enjoy that, like you will have a great time.
Yeah. It's one of those where it's like, I'm still going to go back at some point and play that game again.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, the Suicide Squad reviews, man, it's been interesting. You know, I've seen a lot of like, okay, this game's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. A lot of 4 out of 5s, you know, 3 out of 5s.
There's been one universally agreed upon statement about this game that I fully embrace, and it's the game is not worth $70.
All right, that's fair.
It's like even people that are leaving positive reviews and saying the game is good, the game is fun, I'm really enjoying my time here.
Yep.
They still say it's not worth $70.
Yep.
And it's like that's the thing. Why? It's like that. Why not make it a $40 game?
Right.
You made a $40 game, no one's complaining.
True. No one really complains about $40 games unless it's the biggest heaping pile of dog shit.
Yeah, it's like you could have made this game.
You have to have the bar low.
It's like you could have made it. You could have made a $40 or $50 game. Like at this point, 50 would have been fine.
Yeah.
Because the new standard 70.
Yeah.
You could have made it $50, and people would have they would have still complained because it's not what they wanted, but it would have been less because they would have went, it's a cheaper game.
Yeah, price point matters a lot because like with what I'm about to say, I don't want to mean any disrespect to the game. You know, everything I've seen about the game looks fantastic. Me playing the demo was fun, but I think that helped a lot with Prince of Persia: Lost Crown with its overall unbelievably positive acclaim is not only because it's like, oh, just a good game. Game's $50, you know?
Well,
that's a good entry point.
Here's the other thing to keep in mind. Like, what game has taken over the world in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I know, Palworld at $27.
It's like
or whatever.
that's a $30
Yeah,
game.
That's right. That's right.
It's like you don't. It's like granted, it's early access, and it's like they put it out to probably get more funding and everything for it, so they keep working on it. But it's one of those where it's like, just because you're a big name developer, just because you've got some respect on your name, doesn't mean you need to release a full price game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can release something that's a little bit cheaper. Because it's like, think of when like Spider-Man Miles Morales came out.
$50.
It's like, yes, it is a much shorter experience, and even for the shorter experience, $50 was a pretty steep price tag at the time. But again, it's the cheaper price point. Nobody, and even then, it was $10 cheaper. So nobody's complaining about that.
Yeah, and if you wanted to get the Spider-Man remaster, I think that version was like, I think $60, $70. But I mean, you can get the base game for $50.
Yeah, and it was one of those where it was like, yeah, it's like that. Sometimes that's all it takes is shave a little bit off the price, and you'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
it's like you would have like sold the same number of copies, probably more. It's like, because hell, the only reason I haven't bought the game is because it was $70.
Right.
And I was like, probably something else I want to play right now.
Yeah, other than a game that's just going to be like
it's like
mid for you.
Yeah, it's like I know that it's like I'm not expecting a banger here. I'm expecting a game I'm gonna get 15 hours of fun out of.
Right.
I don't want to pay $70 for 15 hours of fun right now. So it's one of those where it's like, I mean, it'll hit a sale soon. I'll buy it then.
Yeah, good point. So yeah, before we hit the weekly wrap up, you want to chat about Tekken at all?
Oh yeah, I did.
How are you enjoying Tekken?
I did. Yeah, I did. After our last week's episode, I did immediately buy and start downloading
literally
Tekken.
Immediately after the show.
I haven't played a ton of it. I have sat down and I've gone through like the standard arcade mode where like you play your 8 matches and everything like that. I've done that a fair few times. I've gone into practice mode, kind of getting used to it. Man, there's just the game is, it feels so good to play. Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, yeah, getting back into it, it's hard remembering how to play Tekken, because Tekken is historically been one of the hardest fighting games to learn how to play. But it feels almost easier in Tekken 8. I don't necessarily know why, but it's like just kind of getting a feel for the game doesn't feel that hard. Almost like you can kind of hop in and pretty quickly at least get your bearings and kind of understand how to play the game. Not saying like you can hop in and you're immediately going to be good at the game. Because hell, I've spent a couple hours in the training mode just trying to make sure I can learn how to do the move list for my character and actually remember what the buttons are and what combinations and stuff I need to hit. So it's like I've spent a few hours in there trying to do that, but man, just playing the game, even in like the arcade mode and having fun with that, it's just I get giddy playing it. It's just fun.
Right.
It's like I forgot how much fun fighting games can be, especially Tekken.
Yeah. Is Tekken your favorite fighter? We know it's Zach's, obviously.
It's probably the one No. I was always I think Blaze Blue is where I have most of my time.
Probably.
Blaze Blue is probably where I have most of my time, but Tekken is probably where it's probably a close second.
Mine's Soul Calibur, man. I love Soul Calibur.
Yeah. It's like Tekken.
Hope we get a new Soul Calibur game.
Tekken has always been kind of like the one I've been familiar with, because it's like even before I got into or before I played like Blaze Blue, I played Tekken before that.
Yeah.
So it's like I've played Tekken for longer. I've just played more of like Blaze Blue.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like Tekken. It's like I've always enjoyed it. I've never really had a bad experience with Tekken, but it's one of the first times I've started playing it, and it's like as I'm going through and playing it, it's just everything feels. It's one of those words like playing it. Everything feels impactful. Everything feels good.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, I just getting giddy. It might be because I play King and just and like everything is flashy.
Right.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. The game is fun. I've really been enjoying because even then it's like I'll hop in and I'll play through like the arcade mode twice. It's like I'll hop in, I'll play through it once, I'll hop in, I'll play through it again, and that may be all I do for the day. But I'm having a fucking blast while I do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, the training mode's pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna keep playing it. It's gonna be one of these ones where it's like I may not talk about it a lot, but it'll be one where it's like, yeah, I'll be playing Tekken a couple times a week.
Yeah, always come back to it. Kind of like how you're just dumping still probably a lot of time in the Palworld.
It's slowed down drastically in the past couple days.
Is it because of Tekken?
Not necessarily. I think a little bit of it's
got a little fatigue.
Okay. Because I played. I mean, I was almost maxed out.
I played a lot of time.
I played 100 hours on or like 110 hours on my world, and then a buddy of mine set up a dedicated world, so I hopped over there, started from scratch, and I've put another 50 hours in.
Yeah.
On that one, so it's like there's just a little fatigue. I'm just stepping back, playing some Persona for now.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna be playing right now. So like as soon as we're done with the show, going to get some barbecue, then I'm gonna go back to Persona for the rest of the night. You got some stuff to do tomorrow, but tomorrow night play some more Persona, and then unfortunately I will be going out of town for a couple days. So what I did pick up though is I still Persona. I picked up Persona 5 Tactica for Switch, and I'm gonna restart Tactica.
Why don't you ever just buy the game originally for Switch? Because you know you're gonna go out of town.
Because I wanted to play it on Game Pass, John. Okay, is that wrong? Is that wrong for me to want to play something on Game Pass? The answer is no.
When it's gonna be your travel game, yes. Because then you have to start over.
I also really want to play Persona 5 Strikers. I really want to get my hands on that one too, but I haven't bought that one yet. But I do have Tactica. It'll be here tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to just restarting that because I really enjoy the gameplay for it. But you want to hit the weekly wrap up? Get out of here. Anything else you want to chat about? We're not going to talk about darts.
No. Give me just a moment. I played something weird earlier.
Oh, played something weird, like a Zach weird, like the stuff that like he'll find, or like what kind of weird we talking? Like the game that you and Zach have recently played, kind of strange.
Okay, so I found this game earlier on Steam.
All right.
It's called Kaitamon Hyper Auto Battlers Prologue.
Okay.
This is a roguelite auto battler monster catcher or creature catcher.
Okay.
So So it plays like your standard roguelite where you kind of pick you have your map, you pick your path. There's like 4 different paths that all lead to a boss at the end of it for the first stage. The difference in this game is instead of picking abilities or like instead of picking abilities that you would use to fight or having like items that you would usually have in like something like backpack battles or something like that. You essentially pick, I think they're called Kaitamon on this, essentially like Pokemon.
Yeah.
So you pick your creature, it has its own ability in that, and then it's like, then it auto battles. So it's like everything's kind of on a timer and each one has its own different abilities in that. So it's like you have some that like when they take damage, they gain more attack, and then so it's like as they take damage, their attack goes up, and then they have when they fill out their special bar, they attack everything for half of their total damage or something like that. And it's just fun. It's one of these. It's not like a crazy like. It's not a crazy game. It's free for now because this is just a demo of it.
Good time killer.
Yeah, it's one of these where it's like I've been enjoying some of these kind of like strategic games, like Godfather Esports that me and Zach played a few weeks ago. I'm still super looking forward to that game. Which, by the way, that game I think they've updated it, and it's gonna be around until the end of Next Fest.
Okay.
The demo is where they have it where I think you can go into Series 2. I haven't done that yet. I just read that this morning, so I'm probably going to go back and do that this week. But yeah, some of these like time killer games that are just like strategy based and stuff like that, I've been really enjoying some of these because it's like I'll hop into it, I'll play it for an hour, and then I'll hop off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. This was an interesting one because, like I said, it's more like creature based and like building a team around the different synergies that you can have there, and you can also put items on them, and that kind of trigger differently. So, and it's one where it's like each creature or each Kaitamon as they call them, can evolve, and they have their XP margin or like milestones, and they can evolve to a stage 3 for it. And it's like, so if everything goes your way, you could have a full team of stage 3s by the end of the first act, or like by the boss in the prologue. But I played it for like an hour earlier. I had a good time the whole time. So just wanted to shout that one out.
Yeah, shout that one out. Have a good little time killer game there for you. All right, let's hit the weekly wrap up and get out of here. So the first one, which is on my very blue thumbnail for the day, new PlayStation Handheld in early development. Now, this is one of those that once it kind of got out there, all major outlets started reporting on it, like Insider Gaming and stuff, who has had a finger on the pulse of Sony, who got the Portal correctly, this upcoming, refresh correctly. This man has got his information, and even he said, take this one with a grain of salt. I'm trying to verify the information, but the guy that leaked it, I think his name was Moore's Law is Dead. He's a known hardware leaker, and he's gotten some stuff right. But basically, it's currently in the high-level design phase. It is going to be powered with AMD with a custom AMD chip. It can natively support and play games of the PS4 and PS5. It's at least 2 years out, and it's technically not even greenlit for launch. I'm very curious.
Is this going to be a true handheld?
Yes. True handheld. So it's the matter, I'm hoping and praying this is all correct, because me and you feel the same way about the Portal. Looks cool, sucks it's not an actual handheld.
Yeah.
We want another, because we can both agree, most gamers can agree, PS Vita was well ahead of its time.
If PS Vita came out now, it would be one of the best-selling consoles of all time.
It would, because the PS Vita was so far ahead of its time.
Because now is what everybody wants. Like,
everyone wants handheld now.
It did a lot of what the Switch does.
Yes.
Way before that. And if people could have that now, especially for their PS5 games, they would lose their fucking mind.
Yes. Like, I don't think people really give a shit about like a resolution. Like, it's a handheld. We get it. We see what the Steam Deck does. We see what the Switch does. We see what the Asus ROG does. We get it. We don't give a shit. But if we can play PS5 games and PS4 games on the go like that, sign me up. That sounds awesome.
That's the thing. It's like
that sounds awesome.
That's why it's my first question. Is it a true handheld?
Yes, they play it natively.
It's like yes, and it can play PS5 games.
I'm in.
Yep. Sign me up.
Now it's just hopefully this is a correct report. Hopefully this is real. Hopefully we can get more verification on this. And, at least 2 years out, they're going to still be striking because it's like, it's cool to see. Because like whenever the Portal was announced, I think like me and you and Zach all agreed that we felt like the Portal was Sony kind of dipping their toes in. It's like, do we want to do this again? Do we want to jump back into this market? That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because with the Portal, me and you basically agreed. It was like there were like 3 things that it had to be able to do, and if it couldn't do it, it was like, okay, well, if it can't do that stuff, it needs to be at least this price, and if it's over that, it's never gonna sell.
Yeah, which I think we said like $100.
I think it was like I think we said like 150 or something, and it was like if it's more than that and it can't do these basic things that it needs to do, it's pointless.
It goes for 300.
Yeah.
Jesus, are you serious? Is that base price? I don't know if that's base price because I'm seeing it like being resold for like 300 plus. I don't know what base price was this thing was, but God bless, that's expensive if that's base price. Jesus. But no, if this new PlayStation handheld, if it is true native, it can play everything. I don't know how it's gonna. I guess you're gonna have to have a digital library, so you're good. I'm screwed. But I mean, either way, I hope to see them get back into it. Maybe they'll re-release games physically for it. Probably not. Probably all digital.
A PlayStation Portal would be $200 if it was in stock at Sony, but it's out.
Okay, so that's why everything's up. All right, it's $200, too high. Should have been 100.
Yeah.
Either way, but no, PlayStation wanted to get back into the handheld business. Love to see it. I want to see it because I loved the PSP. I never had a Vita. I wish I had a Vita. Loved the PSP. Just got a PSP again recently. Love it.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, you know where I got it too. They had 3 of them in stock.
I know, and I hesitated by a week, and when I went back, they were gone.
Yeah, because see, whenever I was like deciding, okay, I want it because they had Phantasy Star Online 2 as well, which I know you love that game. They, when I was deciding on it, they had all 3, and I went back, they had 2 left. I'm like, I gotta get it. I can't wait. I can't do this. I can't let this slip through my fingers.
Because you mentioned you bought it, I showed up, and the other was gone.
So sorry. I love my PSP, man. Love it. So like, I hope they get back in the handheld market. And another thing as well, opposing company, we saw the big Xbox leak where Xbox had a prototype handheld in play. I hope they do that too. I hope there's an Xbox handheld in the works. I would love to see it. One little thing that I saw recently where I'm just like, are you trying to tell us something? Is I think it was some tweet by maybe Jez Gordon who writes for like Xbox Wire. I think I could be wrong on where he writes, but he's someone I follow. Where he talked about like it was a tweet where it's like, could Xbox make a handheld and just provided some stuff. Phil Spencer did like that tweet. I'm like, Phil, are you trying to tell us something? Like, is this happening? Please tell me it's happening because that'd be awesome. But man, I hope PlayStation does a new handheld. That'd be great.
Okay, here's the thing. It's like if you're gonna do a handheld, it's like, and it can play your other games natively and everything on it. That's cool. If I can have the ability to stream console to like connect them and stream like whatever's on my console and just take it and walk away and then seamlessly transition back and forth as well.
Win.
I'll
win.
I'll buy it for that.
Big win. That'd be great. That'd be great.
Imagine like sitting like you're on your PlayStation or something, or you're on your Xbox or whatever, playing your game. It's like, I want to go to bed, but I don't want to stop playing yet.
Yeah.
And you just grab it and just doop.
Yep.
And then walk away, and then it's still there.
Yep.
Just going. I would love that.
That'd be awesome. Man, I'm hoping that this is real. I hope it's real.
Because you know what could do that? The Vita.
Yeah. The Vita was great, man. I love the Vita. I wish I had it, man. I loved it as a concept. I love seeing all the stuff about the Vita. Everyone that I've ever known to own a Vita loved it. Man, I want a Vita. Next thing up is involving the live service future that's quickly approaching. There was recently a 47-page report published by Griffin Gaming Partners where they interviewed studios all around the world about games as a service. 65%, or an exact number of 540 game studios, are actively working on a live service title. Studios view live service as a key to longevity, which, if you can nail it on your live service game, you are correct that it is a key to longevity, but you got to nail it.
Here's the problem. Even the big players in the market don't nail it every time they put something out. Look at Destiny 2. Every other expansion that comes out is the most hated thing that they've ever released.
Every other one. Every other one.
And it's like, and that's one of the success stories.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the successful ones. That's one of the OG successful
It's like
ones.
most of these games, it's like they either thrive off of a small, dedicated player base or they're gone within a year.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not a huge fan of everyone trying to make live service games.
I hate it.
I
hate it.
You spending 3 times the resources to try to make a live service game when you could have made one good like single player game.
Yeah.
Or like one good like co-op or multiplayer game.
Right.
It's like, look at some of these other games. It's like they're it's like as long as you make a really good multiplayer game, it doesn't even have to be a complex game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, as long as it's good, you'll have enough people playing it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm every now and then I get into a live service game, but most of the time I don't want to.
Yeah. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so usually it's like, if it happens, it's like, oh, I got into this game and it happens to be live service.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't seek them out anymore.
Right. Next thing we had was I had some Palworld updates for us. So Xbox announced they are working directly with Pocket Pair to improve Palworld, providing dedicated servers, engineering resource to help with GPU and memory optimization, speeding up process to make Palworld available to players, and better optimization for Xbox in general. And then in terms of numbers, we now have 12 million copies sold on Steam, plus 7 million players on Xbox. Woo, buddy. Palworld is doing insane numbers. It's like every week this continues and continues and continues to climb.
Like, just on Steam alone, I am still every day seeing new people on my friends list buy the game.
That's awesome.
It's like
That's awesome.
It's crazy that I'm still seeing people that have like, because it's one of those where it's like, I can understand, like, okay, yeah, maybe you waited for payday to buy the game and your payday was like a week and a half out or something. So you're a little bit behind the time, but it's like, it's been weeks and people are still buying it possibly for the first time. Mm-hmm. And it could be a case where like some people played it on Game Pass and they're like, go play it on Steam now.
Yeah.
Or
it's like, okay, I got a taste for it. Let me go buy it.
It's like, I got buddies that have a server going over here. I'm going to go hop in with them. Yeah. I'll just buy the game again real quick because why the fuck not? The game's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think Game Pass was such a great move for it. Now, obviously, it was going to move copies no matter what, but it's situations exactly what you said. People just like, all right, yeah, let me try it out. Let me hop on PC Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass. Let me try the game. Oh, this is actually a lot of fun. You know what? I got buddies playing it on PC. Let me just go ahead and buy a PC. $27? Hell yeah, sign me up. So, I mean, top to bottom, huge W for Palworld. Apparently, Naughty Dog's next big single-player game is apparently not Last of Us Part 3. Neil Druckmann did recently say there was a concept there, and there is probably one more chapter.
Yeah, because they're standing over his shoulder going, fucking make it.
Yeah, make it, bitch. But I think there's been a lot of talk for a while that, you know, Naughty Dog did have a completely different game in the works. So that's going to probably just be their next game. We do have a Ubisoft report here per Insider Gaming. Apparently, Star Wars Outlaws is targeting a first half 2024 release. I saw May, and I was just like, wow, I didn't think that game was going to come out until late this year. Apparently, Assassin's Creed Red is targeting a second half this year, so that's cool. That's one of the few games I'm looking forward to. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Remake is in development, but it's several years out, so they're trying to really tap back into that vein. Shout out to them, I guess. Lost Crown has over 300K players, $15 million in revenue. Avatar fans showed up for this one. Avatar Frontiers Pandora, even though it's a mid-ass game, has over 1.9 million players and has $133 million in revenue.
You're part of the problem.
I just wanted to see the beautiful world.
You're part of the problem.
I just wanted to see the beautiful. Now we're gonna get a sequel. We're
hey,
gonna get a sequel.
We keep getting mid-ass games from Ubisoft because people like you.
I just wanted to see the beautiful world. I got what I wanted out of it.
Yeah, but now they're gonna make a second one, and that one's gonna come out, and you're gonna go, I wonder how much better it looks.
Basically. There's also multiple new Far Cry and Ghost Recon games in 2025. That's in 2026. A 2-year span, multiple new games.
Okay.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I would propose a quick thought to Ubisoft. Have they ever heard of a new IP?
Right? Well, they have, and it did well, and they were going to make a sequel, and then they canned the sequel, and that was Immortals Phoenix Rising. Like, they had a sequel greenlit, and then they're just like, yeah, you know what, never mind. Let's just make 17 Assassin's Creeds, 19 Far Cries.
Yeah, it's like we're still making Far Cry. Dude, your Far Cry's been mid as fuck for years.
Yeah, for multiple installments now. So, Ubisoft's going to Ubisoft. That's the bottom line. Speaking of Destiny earlier, Destiny 2 and Mass Effect has got a crossover coming this month. I do believe it's free as well, all the stuff you get. And also, Destiny 2 game director has left Bungie. So that's the thing. He's getting out before the shitstorm of the DLC comes out this year. That could make all of Destiny, or all Bungie higher-ups get taken over by Sony. He's just like, yeah, I can already tell this is going to be a shit DLC. Yeah. I'm out.
Yeah. That's him going, I'm leaving before they fire me.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm out on my own terms. There is an Age of Empire event stream announced for the 23rd of this month. It's going to feature updates for 2 Definitive Edition, 3 Definitive Edition, 4 mobile, and Retold. So if you're a big Age of Empires fan, look out for that.
I need to get back into Age of Empires.
You got a big update coming.
I know. I used to love them, but it's like I haven't played RTS games in years.
Yeah. And then the last update is we did get a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie logo reveal, which is in big reference to Sonic Adventure 2. And Jim Carrey is back again. And I wanted to shout this out because when I didn't even click the article. I'm not going to give this guy my click because it's like, how stupid of an article is that? Shout out to a Smart News article I saw where it's just like the little push notification was, Jim Carrey is out of retirement for an unlikely role. And I'm just like, you're acting as if this has not pulled him out of retirement for 3 times now. Yeah. He was retired before Sonic, came out for Sonic. He retired after Sonic, came back for Sonic 2, said he was definitely retired after Sonic 2, and you could argue his character was killed off in Sonic 2, and now he's back again for Sonic 3. Come on.
You're forgetting how easy this article is for him. This dude just opens up the article, deletes Sonic 2, and puts in Sonic 3.
I know.
And then alters 4 lines, and he's good to go. He could keep milking this.
I know. But very excited for Sonic 3. It's coming out this December, day 1, minute 1. Can't wait. I'm so pumped. That's all I had for Luke. Wrap up. You got anything for it? Got anything to shout out? No, I'm going to hit the music.
No, I think I got my stuff out of the way.
All right, hit the music. Let's get out of here. Last thoughts.
All right. If you made it to the end with this, thank you very much. And if you like what you saw here and would like to see us do it again, we do these live streams every Saturday, usually about 6 p.m. Central Time. So come check us out then.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe as well, no matter what your platform allows. We would appreciate that extra support. Check us out at sparky3.com. You can sign up for free or sign up $5 a month. We'd appreciate that support as well as the support of buying some Rogue or an Agent Inc. jersey using our referral links down below. Like he said, you can check us out in multiple locations, whether it's the Sparky3 YouTube, Gamesthetic YouTube, Sparky3 Twitch, Sparky3 Kick. Lately, I've been doing it on my personal Twitter at AxLight23. I'm just mixing it up. I don't know. Just having some fun. But yeah, we'll be back next Saturday. It'll be a great time. Until next time, bye.